YouTube! ¿Qué pasa? Welcome back to another solo leveling video on my channel. Today's video is somewhat of a guide. So I've been able to clear tier 10 and tier 10 for the blue Venom-fanged Kasaka and very decent mage forest, and both with the 3 challenges complete. So I'm gonna guide you guys somewhat through on how I beat those stages, what the team was which I used, and the team I'm also suggesting you should be using, right? So without further ado, let's get into it. So the blue-fanged Kasaka. So first of all, Encore missions are, for everyone that doesn't know, these are the missions where you get your artifacts, right? So you have the first 2, the Viridescent Mage and the Snake, and then you have the Cerberus and the Arachnid. For all 4 of these basically drop artifacts, right? So tier 10 is the highest available tier, and obviously here you get the highest rarity of artifacts, and basically that's what you want to be farming AFK once you've completed the challenges. Now once you complete this once, right, with all the challenges, whenever you do it again, you have an increased damage of 50% and a decreased damage taken by 50%. So it's basically making it a hell lot easier to auto farm this stage AFK and just collect your stuff, right? So for me, obviously clearing it now is going to be very easy, but I'm still going to guide you guys through and tell you what to look out for, right? So let's get into it. So the team I've used to clear stage or tier 10 for the Snake is, I've used Chai Hei-in. She was the first one I'm using, obviously as the main DPS, probably the best DPS in the game right now. I'm using her. She's dealing crazy amounts of damage, right? Second, I've used Emma. Since the Snake is weak to fire, obviously I'm using no, she's not weak to fire, she's weak to dark. But Emma is the thing. She has crazy high amounts of armor break, right? She basically deals a lot of armor break damage, which is why she's somewhat of a must use, especially for these Encore missions. She even if she doesn't have any advantage in terms of elemental damage, she just shreds armor away, similar to what's her name, bro? Wu. Similar to her, she basically shreds armor. So those 2 are the ones you want to have mostly in any team composition. And last but not least, I've used Lee Bora. She is one of the best, if not the best, DPS units you can use if you're fighting the Snake. I suggest, highly suggest building her up, because she is able to even solo. So yes, I'm talking solo. Anything up to tier 6. With my current strength, she's able to solo it, right? And I've seen people actually solo tier 8 with her, so she's definitely capable of that. She has crazy amounts of damage. I suggest definitely pushing her basic skill 1 up, because this one basically makes a summon like a round enhancement circle, and when you're standing in that circle, you have basically an increased dark and elemental damage by 10% for all the team members, right? If you're standing in it. So that's one of the things. And it increases the magic arrow damage of phantom foxes, right? Which is basically, yeah, the second skill you want to be doing. So how you want to play her is, you always want to cast her first basic skill, jump into it, and then cast her second one, and from there attack while being in this enhancement circle. And ideally you might also want to cast her ultimate. But the second basic skill, what she basically does, she summons 2 foxes, which is so nice because they deal damage while you can also deal damage. So she is actually the AFK off-field damage dealer, because she provides off-field damage to any other team member, which is why she's so valuable for this quest. Now that's basically the setup I've used. As for artifacts, nothing too crazy. These are the artifacts for her, for Emma, and for Chai. Bro, the name is just killing me. Anyways, that's the team I'm using. Obviously shadows are in there, so yeah, let's jump into this. So while running this quest, the only real thing you need to watch out for is the poison attacks of that Snake, because what this thing does is basically it spams somewhat of a poison attack, and if you don't dodge it in time, you're basically bound to get quickly paralyzed, right? Now essentially, I don't need to dodge anything now, right? I'm dealing 50% more damage. I'm having 50% decreased damage being dealt to. So it doesn't really matter, right? But regardless, that's one thing you want to be looking out for. Another thing you want to be looking out for is these attacks. You always want to try and get your timing right while dodging these, because obviously you need to complete the quest for one of the challenges with 50% remaining HP. So essentially, you don't want to get hit too often, right? Because that's actually going to make you lose that challenge, right? And now you see Lee Bora's elemental ult, and yeah, she basically finished it. So as you can see, once you finish those 3 challenges, you finish the quest so easy, and it is just a child's play, and that's it. Boom, the golden boots are dropping. Very, very nice, right? So that's basically how you want to clear it. Now, alternative team members, what you can use in case you're missing Emma or in case you're missing Lee Bora, right? So, right, instead of Emma, you could either opt in for another fire unit, Choi Jong-in, or I'm actually suggesting Baek, if that's how I'm pronouncing the name right? Because he has a lot of armor break capabilities as well. So he's an actually very handy substitute to Emma if it comes to armor breaking, right? If you're lacking any of these SSR units, it's going to be a bit tough, not going to lie to you. An alternative for Lee, at least, would be Kang Teshik, because he has a lot of damage capabilities in terms of SR units. If you have SSR units, then I'm suggesting Silvermane Baek. The only downside to him is he shreds his own HP. But the damage output of him is exponentially crazy. Like, he can deal a lot of crazy amounts of damage. The only thing is, the challenge, he will lose at succeeding with the challenge, because he just keeps shredding his own HP. And I'm hoping for Netmarble to actually release a character in future which you can pair with him, so you can actually turn around that HP consumption of his. I actually pulled for him because he was one of my favorite characters from the anime, and I actually wanted to have him. I actually wanted to have him 505, but yeah, I then again said, nah, come on, just save up for future banners. But he's definitely one of my all-time favorite characters just from the looks of him, right? So that's another alternative. Alternatively, right, you could also run something like this. You could run Sejong Woo, even though she has elemental disadvantage, her armor break is just OP. And in terms of the last character, again, you could also use Woo Jin-shu if you have him leveled up, because he is also pretty decent armor break capabilities. But anyways, rather than him, I'm suggesting still Kang Tashik, because he would be able to deal a lot of damage as a sub damage dealer. Now, in either event, right, I'm always suggesting Cha Hae-in as the main DPS of the lineup, because she just shreds most of the enemies in the game, right? And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. How you're gonna clear the blue-fanged Kasaka, the Venom Kasaka. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what teams you guys used. How easy it was for you to clear tier level 10 on this one. And yeah, as always, thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.